Yinz guys have heard of the expression, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Well, guess what, guys? With us, it's broken, and we absolutely need to fix it. And I better see some fixing come Sunday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Good Friday morning to everybody here. I am Mac, and I am back. And this is my preview for Week 3 between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Las Vegas Raiders. Sunday Night Football. And as always, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, follow on Instagram, link in the box below. Be sure to tune in on Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 o'clock Pacific Time. I will be collabing with Raider Ben about the game on Sunday night, so be sure to tune into that. And yes, I am wearing my Maka jersey for this one because, A, the hit was not dirty, even though I wish my best for Nick Chubb. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Hopefully that's not a career ender, and hopefully we get to see him play again. But, I mean, come on. Do people say that that was a dirty hit? Okay? You guys clearly don't understand football. You're not supposed to target the head. When you're a safety and you're a defensive back, you're taught to target the bottom when you're going up against a running back. It was an unfortunate hit that led to an injury. It's a football play and him trying to make a move, okay? So lay off it with the dirty hit and he tried to hurt him on purpose stuff. You clearly don't know anything about football, if that's the case. All right? But getting on to this game, like I said at the beginning, this right here is Mike Tomlin's opportunity and the biggest chance right here so far in this early season to make some changes. We're coming off a win against the Browns, albeit a game that we probably should have lost, but thanks to the defense, once again, they bailed out ineptitude on the offense, and now it's time to make some changes, and that not only starts with Matt Canada, but it goes to Mike Tomlin as well. Because, yes, we know Mike Tomlin is a defensive coach, and we know that he has a defensive mind. But here's the thing. He's the freaking head coach. He is authorized to either get someone to help Matt Canada out with the play calling or take it over completely. And if you need to build up on a win and you need to make changes and it starts with coaching, well then, make the changes right now. Because if it happens once where the offense looks flat against a Super Bowl contender in the 49ers, one time is just whatever. But if it happens twice, it's a trend. And Mike Tomlin acknowledged this in his press game conference on Tuesday, where he said we lost our mojo and we need to build the mojo back. Well then, Tomlin, if that's the case, then it starts with you. That's all there is to it, man. We could easily be sitting at this game at 0-2. Because do you realize that it goes everything beyond just the defense and it floods into the offense as well? The running game, Jaylen Warren's ability, it exceeds Najee Harris in every aspect. Monday night, we saw him get those chunks of yards. We saw him even with screen passes, and he was turning nothing into something. Najee Harris is not capable of doing that. Make him your RB1, and I better see it Sunday night. Offensive line, don't overthink it. Do you realize that the best blocker that we have statistically for the team so far, it's not an offensive lineman. It's Darnell Washington, who we traded with Carolina to snag in the 90s in the draft. And he is doing everything that what I anticipated him to do on the offensive line, which is be the sixth man on the O-line, and he's so far our best blocker. Don't overthink it. Put him on the offensive line. Make him be that blocking tight end that you traded to get for. And, you know, I've always been an advocate of, when it comes to Broderick Jones, I was an advocate of you don't want to put your rookie left tackle in against a gauntlet of pass rushers to start the season because it's going to ruin Kenny Pickett's confidence. But here's the thing. We're thin on the O-line right now to where we have to make our tight end, albeit he is a good blocking tight end, as I just mentioned. But wouldn't you think Sunday night would be a good opportunity to give Broderick Jones his chance? Eventually, you're going to have to take the training wheels off this kid and have him go up against a good pass rusher. Max Crosby is a great pass rusher for sure, but you can't keep holding his hand. You're going to have to give him starting time eventually. And now I'm starting to say I want to see Broderick Jones start Sunday night at left tackle. He cannot be worse than Dan Moore. He just can't. Kenny Pickett got hit into oblivion Monday night despite him only getting sacked twice. Let's see what Broderick Jones can do. And then the receiving corps. Outside of George Pickens, the most handsy guy that we have is Calvin Austin, who's doing what he's supposed to be doing. Get him involved more, because now it's a blessing and a curse that Deontay Johnson's going to miss playing time, because A, Johnson is a good route runner, he's just not a good playmaker. But you also have these other targets that you know can develop and you know are able to make a solid play. Get Calvin Austin involved. Get Allen Robinson involved. Because defenses, as I keep pushing the issue with, they're gonna pick up on the fact that George Pickens is able to make a good play in multiple coverage. It's bland, vanilla offense. And as I said, you can chop it down to Matt Canada, you can chop it down to the play calling, and you can even chop it down to Kenny Pickett, which, yes, I'm starting to shout at Kenny Pickett for because of his poor decisions. And it's easy for us to just say, yeah, Kenny Pickett needs to develop, Kenny Pickett needs to make smarter choices with the football, oh, Kenny Pickett needs to stop forcing passes, he needs to stop staring down receivers. That's easy to say. But at the end of the day, Mike Tomlin is the head coach of this team, and he's been the head coach of this team for 17 years. And like I said, he is more than capable of getting Matt Canada help. Or if need be, him just taking it over completely. Because like I said, the defense was the only reason we were even in this game. 4 takeaways. 2 of them for touchdowns. The very first play of the game, Highsmith with a pick six that Minka had for a split second, dropped out of his tips, and then Highsmith was there to make a play on it. Alex Highsmith in the fourth quarter with the strip sack. TJ picks up the fumble and scores his first career touchdown, by the way, on defense. And then 6 sacks, 11 QB hits. The pass rush was the only reason, and parts of the run game was the only reason that we were in the game. And I say parts of the run game, or the run defense, was because on 35 carries and 198 yards allowed, it suggests that they got destroyed all night, which is partially true. But aside from Landon Roberts and Quan Alexander making some plays and some tackles, they could not get tackles in, and it's not a smooth transition once again going from Nick Chubb and I guess Jerome Ford to now Josh Jacobs. Okay? O-line once again was miserable. Under 3 yards a gain for the run game, which is where Keanu Benton has to be able to come in and make plays along with Quan Alexander. Incorporate the man-to-man. Get the nickel blitzes going. So you take a look at the Raiders as a whole. All things considered, they should be a solid team, but it's I don't know whether it's coaching or it's just their lousy defense that's holding them back, but the fact of the matter is they're 1-1 and they're underachieving, at least as far as Raider Nation puts it. They will be down possibly Devontae Adams in this game because last I checked, he was in concussion protocol, which you know how strict the NFL is with concussions now. I keep hearing that he has a chance to play, but, it's kind of 50-50 with him right now. Same thing with Myers. I think he is questionable for this game as well. So really, it kind of starts with Jimmy Garoppolo. Am I nervous about Jimmy Garoppolo? Not really. Jimmy Garoppolo is certainly a quarterback that can win you a game, but he'll never be elite. He'll never be top 15. He's a game manager. He's a guy that's there to limit mistakes, a guy that's there to solely set up to put the offense in good scoring position and to just limit mistakes. But last week, not a good game for him. He did anything but limit the negativity with that touchdown pass, and he had 2 picks against the Bills, where his main target was Josh Jacobs. As I mentioned, he was the most targeted guy because, congratulations, guys. If you guys are watching this video, you had more rushing yards than Josh Jacobs had last week. On 9 carries, he had -2 yards. Is that going to continue? Obviously not. He had a terrible game. It happens. Especially going up against this rush defense, which I can't keep using the injury card enough because Cam Hayward's out for at least half the season. But like I said, you can't keep falling back on that excuse. You have to have next man up mentality, which is what we're all about over here in Pittsburgh. Austin Hooper's been a big pickup for him, but he hasn't been dynamite. He's looked decent, but not earth-shattering, if that makes any sense. But he's definitely a factor on that offense right here. And it's definitely going to help up with the interior matchups and the slot play action passes. They just seem to be able to have good rhythm when all things are considered, but they just need to pick up on it more. As far as the defense goes, I mentioned Max Crosby. It starts with him. He's just a guy that can change the climate of the entire defense. Then you got former Steeler Robert Spillane in the middle, which Raider fans, I can tell you, he was with us for a couple of years. This guy is strictly a goal line in a 3rd and short situation type of linebacker where you need to be able to make a stop. He can drop down in man, he can play zone defense as well, but he is not a 4-down linebacker. He is strictly there for 3rd and short goal line situations. They can mix up the nickel slots as well. Hobbs, I think, is real good in coverage. He's a good blitzer and a good tackler. So once again, this O-line is definitely going to have to be tested against Vegas's defense, which is very hit and miss. As far as the defensive backs goes, you got a veteran like Marcus Peters going at it. You got Bennett up there, which are a good 1-2 punch right there. The pass defense, though, they got absolutely shredded by Josh Allen, which is easy to forgive because Josh Allen is one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and Buffalo just has too much firepower up on their offense. But they're going up against an offense that has the firepower, but they just refuse to be creative with it, as I said at the beginning of this video. And like I said, it all wraps around the fact that whether you want to put it on Kenny Pickett with his poor play, because like I said, it's easy to say, yeah, Kenny Pickett needs to develop. He needs to stop making rookie mistakes. But also you got to look at Matt Vanilla Pudding Canada, who can't open up the playbook even though he has the frickin' personnel now to do so, and Mike Tomlin not being authoritative to take over. So Vegas, we cannot allow them to get too confident on offense for this game. And as far as their run defense goes, they got cooked as well by Buffalo's run game. I feel like this is definitely a time for the offense to be creative and to have a breakout game. So with all that being said, here are my keys to victory for Sunday night. As far as the offense goes, I'm not even going to say be creative on offense. Instead, I think it's going to come down to field position. Because, let's face it, being creative on offense is just the lazy way to say the keys to victory for the offense goes. But this is going to be one with field position right here. Which quarterback and which offense and which play calling can get the best field position with the opportunity that they're given? Kenny Pickett, if you looked at him, I hate to bring up last year, but if you looked at him last year when he was given good field position, he was making plays. So if the defense can stay off the field and we can tire out Vegas's defense, we can make their defense work, and Kenny Pickett's given good field position, that's your cue, Kenny. Duplicate what you did towards the end of last year and conduct them game-winning drives and conduct some clutch moments. Because like I said, it comes down to field position as far as the offense goes. Defensively, I'm going to say you got to minimize Josh Jacobs for this one. Not hold him to under 0 yards rushing per se, but just limit him, because that's what we did the last time we faced Vegas on Christmas Eve when we were honoring Franco Harris. Josh Jacobs was pretty much a non-factor in that game. I think he only had 45 yards on the ground. But again, that was with a healthy rush defense pretty much. Now our rush defense is undermanned coming into Sunday night. But we got to be able to do it again. Get Keanu Benton involved. Have Quan Alexander be there. Get Nick Herbig even involved, because we know he can be a monkey all over the field and stop the run. Minimize their best target or their best attribute on offense and make Jimmy Garoppolo win this game. Make Jimmy Garoppolo beat you, which I know sounds like a bad thing, but Jimmy Garoppolo is not the kind of quarterback that can really step up in the clutch when the number's called. So you got to be able to minimize Josh Jacobs. You got to take advantage of the fact they're coming up a little banged up in this game as well. And you got to be able to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat you as far as the defense goes. So those are my keys to victory right there. Old school rivalry going at it. These two have a long history with each other, going back to the 70s when the Steel Curtain were the dynasty and we were playing the Raiders pretty much every year in the playoffs in the 70s, and the Raiders were a great team as well when they had John Madden, may he rest in peace, as their head coach, and they had all them great defenses as well. But, you know, over the decades, the rivalry's lost its impact a little bit, but still, it's Steelers-Raiders, one of the best out-of-conference, or one of the best out-of-division rivalries in NFL history. Something I forgot to mention in this game as far as injuries for us goes, Gunnar Olszewski is also in concussion protocol. No official word on there. So Calvin Austin definitely, I think, needs to be in the special teams role. And Anthony McFarland, I don't know the status of him, which I think we're going to see more of Quadri Olson. And then Minka, just as a precaution, he was sent in the hospital because he got roughed up on Monday night on his hit with Nick Chubb. But Tomlin has stated that he's good where he is and that he's likely to play Sunday night, so I'm not too worried about it. It's just precautionary, it sounds like. And then Landon Roberts also being checked out as well. So, yeah, we're dealing with a little bit of bang-up injuries as well, but it seems like they're not to be concerned about because they're precautionary and not really big losses that are severe for us. But, yeah, man, Steelers and Raiders, old school rivalry. Let's get on it Sunday night. Guys, like I said, it's broken, so you better be able to fix it. I'll see you guys Saturday afternoon, and I'll see you Sunday night where I'll be sitting here doing play-by-play. Steelers, get the job done, guys. Get the 2-1. This is Mac, checking on out for the day. Have a good one, everybody.